Los Angeles sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is off for your Thursday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Let's call it Hurley Thursday, shall we? Well, it's not official yet. Just a lot of Woj bombs flying around this morning. And today, combo plate will go till 3 o'clock here on Mason and Ireland. Then Shadano and Cappy, 5:30 p.m. NBA Finals Game 1, Celtics-Mavs. Courtesy of ESPN Radio. And look who's here today. John Ireland, the voice of the Lakers, his partner in all those Lakers games. The one and only world champion, Mychal Thompson. Plus the great Pepe Montilla will drop by.
Did he say horse or horse?
That's what I thought. He said the horse.
Yeah, the horse.
But I didn't know he was talking about a caballo.
Yeah.
We're here. We're here to cover it. We're here to talk about it. We're here to react on it. Let's go. Celebrating their 20th year at ESPN Los Angeles, the biggest show on the radio, for a special Hurley Thursday edition. Ireland, Mychal, right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mychal.
Good afternoon.
Growl for us, please. One time.
Brothers don't growl.
That's what I was hoping.
No, brothers don't growl, Pepe.
Pepe growl.
Hey,
Pepe growl.
we got to do a growl, Pepe. Come on. Very good. Very nice. All right. We got a lot to talk about, people. And if you've been living under a rock.
Can I correct Morales first?
Sure.
NBA champion, not world champion.
That you always do that, and it's so stupid.
You're on the
Every
Noah
banner
Lyles
at Staples Center at Crypto.com Arena says world
It's
champion.
a misprint.
What do you mean it's a misprint? You saying Jeannie Buss ordered the wrong banner?
Yes, we won the NBA championship, not a world championship.
Where all the best players in the world playing?
In the NBA.
Thank you.
But we're not playing against world teams.
Well, if we win the Olympic gold medal, can we say it?
Yes, then you're Olympic champion.
Okay.
Mychal, you're very stupid.
Yes, I agree. Really stupid. Now,
Back for this.
Here's the big story today. I got up this morning early, and it was all over ESPN, all everywhere. Adrian Wojnarowski dropping the bomb that forget what you've read, forget all the names. There is a new leader in the clubhouse as to who might be the Lakers coach. And it's Dan Hurley, the head coach at the University of Connecticut, who has won the last 2 national championships. And according to Woj's been doing a lot of media today, and Dave McMenamin's going to join us at 1:30 in about 10 minutes with the latest. According to Woj, Hurley's the guy that the Lakers have wanted for a while.
You know, he has gotten to know Hurley a little bit through talking about draft picks, but watched him, studied him, and throughout this process, that is the coach they've been after. Everybody else has been just essentially due process interviews, due diligence. They want to get Hurley, and they're hopeful they can lock.
All right. So, first of all, Mychal, what do you think of the idea of Danny Hurley being the Laker coach?
I like it. I mean, he's a good coach, obviously. I was hoping it would be J.J. Redick. I think J.J. Redick would have been a good
Still might
hire.
be, by the way.
Still might be, yeah. Either one of these guys, I think they'll be a good choice by the Lakers, but I was hoping it would be J.J. But if they settle on Danny Hurley, that'd be fine.
I thought you would be excited about this simply because the number one thing you always say to me is, I don't want to retread. You don't like when they bring back guys who've been have 4 NBA coaching jobs. This would be the opposite of that.
So would J.J. Both of them will be the first-time coach, and they both are dynamic in the way they present themselves, the knowledge about the game. So either one would be a great hire for me.
Pepe, what do you think?
Could this be smoking mirrors?
Yes.
What do you mean?
It could be Danny Hurley trying to get a better contract at Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. All he's got to do is give me more money to
Not only that. Maybe they're going to hire J.J. Redick, and they're saying that. So
a misdirection plan.
Yeah.
Could be. I was told by someone close to this, slow my roll on Danny Hurley, that it's not done. And matter of fact, the phrase they used was not even close to done.
In negotiations.
Right. But possible.
Yeah.
And I said, well, can I say if this was a golf tournament, is he the leader in the clubhouse? He said, I think so. Yeah. But it's not done. Yeah. So, Mychal, you mentioned you like J.J. Redick. It still could be J.J. Redick.
Yeah, but obviously it depends on what happens at UConn too, Pepe, because if I'm UConn, I'm going to try to pull out all the stuff to try to keep him.
Of course.
Now, they can't pay him what the Lakers can pay him, but they may make it attractive enough
but,
to say,
let's talk about that for a second. By the way, Greg, what do you think of this idea? Danny Hurley to the Lakers.
So I would actually really like it. College coaches don't normally work out, but Brad Stevens was the guy that absolutely worked out for the
Yeah,
Celtics.
Billy Donovan's been pretty good.
He's been okay. But the fact that he won back-to-back, he seems like a player development coach. That's what Woj was saying, so that if you can build up guys like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura and maybe Jalen Hood-Schifino and really develop those guys, I think that would be very good. But what I wonder, Pepe, and I don't think you're wrong by any means, who does it benefit by putting out this smoke and mirrors? This doesn't benefit the Lakers. It doesn't benefit JJ, in my opinion. It doesn't benefit
it would benefit Danny Hurley.
Or JJ Redick, too, because the attention is going to be on Hurley now. They're not going to be paying attention to JJ Redick that like they were paying attention before. Everybody's going to be thinking Hurley, and then suddenly it might be JJ Redick.
But if you think about it, the Lakers are probably the one that are kind of leaking this to Woj. It has to be somebody they had to say, we are going to go offer this amount
I
of
disagree
money.
with that.
Who would it be then?
I think Woj and Shams deal primarily with agents. I don't think
they have relationships with Genie, and
there's no way. By the way, if the Lakers kept this under wraps for a month, why would they leak it now? I mean, I don't think
it's close.
I don't think the Lakers leaked it. But let me ask both of you guys something. Greg and I have a disagreement. We want to make a mythical money bet, and I'm willing to give Greg odds
because you're probably right. But
I say there is no way J.J. Redick talks about this tonight during the finals in Game 1. Won't even bring it up. Greg says you have to bring it up with J.J. Redick.
In the finals, about the Lakers' possible coaching search?
Correct.
With Danny Hurley?
I don't think they'll... No, with just asking J.J. Redick about the Lakers opening, I do not think they will touch it.
No, they won't touch it. No, of course not.
Who's going to ask him?
Greg says they have to ask him. All right, so here's the bet.
There's somebody that's going to be coming out that could possibly, Danny Hurley could possibly be the next head coach before the final starts or even right after. They're not going to say one thing about that?
No, here's what I think is going to happen. Woj is going to be on the pregame show. Yeah. Stephen A. is going to be on the halftime show with Woj. They're going to cover this story ad nauseum, and once they throw it to Mike Breen, Doris, and J.J. Redick, they will not touch it. I'm so sure of it, Greg. I will give you $10,000 in mythical money if J.J. Redick touches this subject, and if he doesn't, you only have to give me $5.
Okay, you're probably right, but I'm going to take your bet.
Okay.
I will absolutely take it.
Mike, I'm going to win that, aren't I?
Oh, yeah. They're not going to bring this up.
Michael, now you are the Bahamian grill master, right?
Yes.
If you were doing a broadcast, finals or not, with J.J. Redick, you wouldn't bring up the Lakers at all, knowing that he's going to be a head coaching candidate and somebody else is now being talked about as the basically done but needs to be finished?
Nope. During the game, it's all about the Celtics and the Mavericks.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to touch it. I wonder how Adam Silver feels. Obviously, this has taken over the news cycle, but at least it's basketball.
Yeah.
At least it's not like Patrick Mahomes retired and then nobody's talking about Game 1.
I don't believe you, Mike.
Why?
You think they're going to talk about it, Pepe?
No, because he always opens his mouth.
Who?
You.
J.J. Redick?
Right. No. But who's going to win the bet?
The question that
Pepe, who's going to win the bet between me and Bergman?
It doesn't apply because he always opens his mouth.
Pepe, who's going to win the bet between me and Bergman?
I think you.
You don't think they'll bring it up?
So how am I
wrong? They won't. Because whatever we say, and we tell you, don't say anything. The first thing you do is, you said it.
I disagree. I think you're right.
Thank you.
I think you're right.
If I was calling the game tonight, I wouldn't say a word about it.
Now,
Pepe.
there's something you brought up, though. You said if you were UConn, you would pony up a bunch of money and try and keep them.
Right.
Here's something I want you to listen to. This is Seth Greenberg, who, of course, was the coach at Long Beach State, was the coach at Virginia Tech, now works at ESPN, knows Danny Hurley. Michael, college basketball is not the same as it was, let's say, 20 years ago when they offered this job to Coach K. Right. Here's Seth.
Yeah, we saw Jim Harbaugh walk away from a national championship team at Michigan.
Right.
What it says is that right now, year-to-year free agency is absolutely exhausting for coaches. Being fundraisers and coaching at the same time is absolutely exhausting for coaches. Now, coaches are getting paid really well. We've got to find some way to create some type of legislation to have some type of normalcy in college athletics. And then it comes down to money. I mean, like right now you talk about NIL. It's not NIL, it's pay for play. Let's call it what it is. Enough of the NIL. People that make NIL, that is great, all right? They deserve that. But it's become pay for play. So pay for play basically is a collective. A collective, you've got to create revenue streams. And right now it's exhausting for the coaches to coach their team, develop their team, and also, raise the money you need to raise.
So, Michael, it's not the same being a college coach as it was even 5 years ago. Why if Danny Hurley has that choice, it's a binary choice. Coach Lakers in the NBA, I don't have to recruit. I don't have to worry about NIL. I don't have to go out and do the rubber chicken circuit. I'm just coaching the Lakers. And the money is either equal or close. Why wouldn't you take the NBA job?
Yeah, I don't think UConn will offer him 15 a year, but they might go up to 7 or 8 or 9 a year. Lifestyle in UConn is more slower pace. Maybe his family's comfortable there. Yes, I know the glamour of coaching the Lakers, $75 to $80 million over 5 or 6 years. Pepe means a lot, of course. Cost of living, moving out to California, different lifestyle, dealing with different type of players. He's got to factor all in. But maybe if his heart is in eventually being an NBA coach, you're right. There's nothing UConn can say to try to convince him to stay, Pepe.
In that sense, you are right, but at the same time,
right.
it's a bigger. No, you're not. It's a bigger responsibility to coach the Lakers. It's precisely the Lakers.
But Pepe, think about all the men we've known over the years that have coached the Lakers. They all relish that challenge. They don't look at it as like they're going to fail. These guys are all super confident. Even the guys who've been fired recently.
Well, they have to, John. I mean,
right.
What are they?
But I'm saying, I don't think they're going
to say, I don't know.
Right, no, but I think, didn't you say that you thought that maybe they don't want to take on the Laker job because it's too big?
No, I'm saying it's a big responsibility to coach
I think they like
the
that.
Lakers.
I think they welcome that, don't you?
The money has something to do,
yeah,
too.
That's true. All right, coming up next, Dave McMenamin with the absolute latest. First, let me tell you about BBGO, the official game day snack of the Lakers. BBGO promises bold, authentic Korean flavor. Whether for a meal or a snack, it's a perfect way to flavor up your next get-together. Bergman buys this stuff. I buy this stuff. Cody buys this stuff. It's all... I throw a bunch of it in my freezer. Anytime you don't know what you're going to have for dinner, you just throw in BBGO. It's America's favorite and #1 Asian snack brand. I get mine at Ralph's, but it's available in all major supermarkets in the frozen food aisle. And BBGO knows food brings people together. No better way than to share some premium, delicious Korean flavors. You can find BBGO, as I mentioned, at any local supermarket or at Target, Walmart, or Costco. Try some BBGO today, the official game day snack of the Lakers. Dave McMenamin next. Michael's here. Pepe's here. Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA. Mason in Ireland today. It's a special edition. Mychal Thompson's here. Pepe Montilla's here. For those of you who don't know, we all broadcast games for the Lakers. And the person that covers the Lakers for ESPN is Dave McMenamin, who right now is on assignment in Boston to cover game one of the finals. And he's got like a phone coming out of both ears, his pocket, everywhere else. And he's nice enough to give us a few minutes. Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm, kind of burning the candle at both ends here, John. But, it never really stops with the Laker job. So
no, all right. So let me
3,000 miles away.
Let me start here. I have been told, and you and I talked to a lot of the same people, but although you and I haven't talked today, to slow my roll on Danny Hurley. That whereas Woj's report that he's being targeted is very accurate. There's mutual interest there, but it's nowhere close to being done. Are you hearing the same thing?
Yeah, that's great information that you're hearing, John. Listen, this has been a process where they've certainly vetted Danny Hurley. They've done their research, talked to people. They still got to really get to know him, though, and see if there's a fit between Danny Hurley, the man, and the Lakers, the organization. And, obviously they've liked what they've heard so far, and it's allowed them to continue this pursuit. So there's no reason why we wouldn't believe that it will continue to progress. But it has to actually progress before we start talking about a leading candidate or an inevitable candidate.
Danny Hurley, when you saw him win the championship for the second year in a row, he sounded like a guy who was going to be a lifer in college, if not at UConn. Did he always have a secret urge to coach in the NBA that none of us knew about?
Well, it's actually not that secret, Michael. If you look back at some of the interviews that he's done subsequent to winning his second straight championship with UConn, he's let it be known that he has NBA aspirations. And obviously, you think about the basketball family that he comes from. His father is a legendary high school basketball coach. His brother was one of the all-time great college basketball players at Duke and has been a college basketball coach as well. If he was able to parlay this level of success at the NCAA level, it's not just – and then go to the NBA, it's not just for him. It's for the entire Hurley family. And quite frankly, if you asked him 5 years ago, is he going to be a college basketball lifer, he probably says it 100 times out of 100, I'm going to do it. But basketball has changed completely at the NCAA level.
Yep.
I mean, I was texting with Danny Hurley before I even knew he was going to be a candidate. I was texting with him after the second championship and, a few months back. And he got back to me a few days later. Dave, thanks for the congratulations, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, hopefully you can enjoy this one. And he was already out on the road recruiting, looking to try to get guys out of the transfer portal. It's the wild, wild west in NCAA hoops right now. And it doesn't mean that the NBA doesn't have its own challenges, certainly with the new tax aprons and the punitive structure of the new CBA. But generally, you're going to make more money, and it's not your job to recruit. It'll be on Jeannie Buss and Kurt Rambis and Rob Pelinka and company to do the recruiting.
So that will be a very, very important thing for him to decide to come to the Lakers, aside from the money.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes that challenge that is really more of a headache than a challenge when it comes to college sports off his plate, and he gets to dive into the thing that he's also really made a name for himself is his offensive innovation. And he's been running sets that have impressed college scouts, impressed NBA scouts, impressed other NBA coaches as they've watched this dominant run by the Huskies through the last two NCAA tournament championships. And, listen, if you're a basketball lifer and you get the opportunity to not only pair with the Lakers brand that we all know carries so much resonance, but get to match wits with someone like LeBron James, that's a very real temptation. And that's why, we heard reports today that Danny Hurley told his players that at UConn, they're gathering for some sort of off-season workout, that, there's validity to this thing, and we're going to play this thing out.
Dave McMenamin is our guest. He's in Boston covering Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Dave, I'm surprised that this didn't leak. I mean, in the NBA in 2024, there are so many people, you're one of them, I'm another one, that are kind of assigned full-time to the NBA. And somehow, some way, this was kept under wraps. Are you as surprised as I am about that?
Absolutely. I mean, think about the ones, it's far more often that it's a slow drip. All of a sudden you just see the faucet pouring down.
Right.
But hey, Pau Gasol became a Laker in the dead of the night.
I mentioned that.
And
yeah, that's the last time
that's
the last time. Yeah, you're right.
And so it's rare, but it can happen. And I will say this, Rob Pelinka is someone who doesn't always show his cards, and he doesn't do a ton of media, so I don't think the fan base has got a chance to know him all that well. And I think that's part of his strategy is Rob is comfortable keeping stuff close to the vest when he's in pursuit of something. And not all people in today's industry are that way. Sometimes it could lead to a reputation of maybe not being the best collaborator, but at the same time, when you're trying to leverage a very sensitive situation, it can give you a leg up in business.
Dave, what happened to because I was excited about the J.J. Redick prospects being the next Laker coach, and everybody was thinking, boy, it looks like that could be the next coach. He looks like a young Pat Riley's going to take over. What happened? Obviously, Danny Hurley's another very attractive candidate, but did the Lakers get off the J.J. bandwagon? What happened there?
Michael, as far as I know, and I haven't seen any reporting contrary to this, and I've been working on some finals coverage, so
sure.
I may have missed something. J.J. Redick remains a candidate. Again, this is not an inevitability that Danny Hurley will become the next head coach of the Lakers. And so until that process kind of moves forward through a few very necessary steps, you still should consider J.J. Redick a candidate to be the next head coach of the Lakers, and James Borrego as well, another candidate to be the next head coach of the Lakers.
Well, if I'm UConn, I would hate to lose Danny. You think they're going to try to throw some kind of crazy deal at him to persuade him to stay?
Let me piggyback on that, Dave. The last thing for you, because you're actually working. What does your sense? I know I'm asking you to speculate here, but what is your sense of what this deal would look like in structure? In other words, do you have any sense? Would Danny want years? Would he want to be like the highest paid guy? Is it a combination of both? What do you think the structure of the deal would look like if those two Hurley and the Lakers could come together?
Right. So, John, this is just pure speculation, right?
Right.
We know that after the first championship, he signed a 6-year extension with UConn in the neighborhood of $32 million. There will be another restructure owed to him basically by the Huskies, because he won the second championship. That's just how business is done.
Right.
So let's just say that restructuring would get him to the $8 to $9 million range. You're going to have to beat that for starters.
Right.
And then, I've heard, speaking to people in the industry, that kind of the whisper down the lane talk about Kentucky's interest in Dan Hurley would have been tendering an offer in the $10 to $12 million range. So you probably got to clear that as well. And for someone leaving a place where he's a certified legend, even if he struggles with NIL, not that he's shown any sign that he would, but if there's an adjustment period there, he has a long road of job security at UConn. He's only 51 years old. He could stay there for another 10 years. And so
sure.
the typical head coach starting job, you're talking about usually a 4-year deal, in rare occasions a 5-year deal. It wouldn't shock me if we're talking about a deal north of $10 million a year and more than 5 seasons.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. I think that's a very safe projection, and it'll be interesting to see. Hey, I lied. One last quick thing. As far as you know, have AD and LeBron had a chance to talk to Danny yet?
No, they haven't, and I've reported this on SportsCenter. LeBron James has not spoken to the Lakers organization about Dan Hurley. He has not spoken to them about J.J. Redick or any other candidate. He's made it clear through his representatives that he respects the process the Lakers have to go through. He wants them to do what's best for the organization. and recognizes that whoever they hire will most likely be with the organization beyond his playing days. Now, with LeBron, you never know. Maybe we'll be covering him in the
Yeah, right. Play till he's 50.
But that's one point. And then as far as AD goes, obviously that's the best player on the Lakers right now. It's not LeBron, it's AD. AD has no relationship with Danny Hurley. So clearly that would be something that if I'm the Lakers, that's a high priority in making sure that they'll be able to work with one another before I make it that higher.
Dave, I really appreciate you doing this. I know I've covered the finals, and I know how your phone's ringing and they're grabbing at you to do 19 different things. So thanks for making a few minutes for us, and enjoy Boston as much as you can as a Laker reporter.
Hey, and Dave, if you see Cedric Maxwell, tell him I hate him.
Oh, I will do that for you, Michael. All right.
Thank you, Dave. We'll talk again soon. Be safe.
Oh, God. If Boston wins, I won't be able to go to Boston anymore.
Yo, he is insufferable. Yeah. I'll tell you. That's Cedric Maxwell. All right, coming up next, we'll spin the wheel of questions. Pepe Montilla's here. Mychal Thompson's here. The big story, Danny Hurley is on the Lakers' radar. I'll say it again, and McMenamin's heard the same thing. It's not close to being done, but the wheels are in motion, and we'll stay on top of it for you on ESPN LA.
Each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. You know what it's time for?
What is this?
It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
All right, let's see what comes up here today. Okay, this is interesting. We'll get back to Danny Hurley in a second. But for some reason, this has been making the rounds on social media this week. I used to work when I was in San Diego in TV news back in the 90s. I used to work with an entertainment reporter named Fred Saxon. One day, Fred was interviewing Leslie Nielsen, the actor, about his new movie. Nielsen had a great sense of humor and liked to mess with people. So Nielsen put a whoopee cushion under his own seat. And every time Saxon tried to ask him something, listen to what happens. Here's the interview.
Near lunch, and I know you're a little...
Well, it was the salmon. Sometimes you just get a wrong piece of salmon.
Is that you?
Well, I don't see anybody else in here who's going to be doing it. Excuse me. But you can show it. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. These things don't bother me.
All right, well, then we'll start now, then we'll begin.
Did you hear the starter pistol? Keep your ears open.
All right, now we'll begin. Talking with Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
Plays the president.
Yes.
What's different about you and the real president?
Nothing, just maybe one or two things.
All right, so here's...
Did the host ever catch on?
No, here's my question. You and I get interviewed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If we did that, what Leslie Nielsen did, would it be funny, or would Tim Harris call us and say, "What are you idiots doing?"
Yeah, Tim would. I don't know. Tim got a good sense of humor.
Tim does.
Yeah.
It would be somebody telling Tim to call
Right,
us.
yeah, exactly.
But would we get away with it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he would also find it humorous, so we just goof around.
All right. So
we will get away with a warning.
Okay, with a warning. Pepe. Oh, wait. Michael, how much money would you give Pepe if right before they were about to come on the air, he slipped a whoopee cushion under Stu's seat?
Oh, that was great. I'd give you $1,000 cash if you do that, Pepe.
You do it.
Would you consider it?
No.
Would you give me $1,000?
No. You do it for $100, knowing you. You do it for $10. You don't bet
do you
Ireland.
think we'd get in trouble? Would your phone ring if Michael or I did that?
Maybe not mine, but Sam Pines would for sure. I would think it was absolutely hilarious if you did it. And by the way, would you do it to Stu for $100? I'll give you $100 to do that to Stu.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one chance. Don't put that out there.
Yeah,
I asked Michael whether or not he thinks I would do this.
Yeah, Ireland was so crazy. One time I bet him $1,000. He was actually going to do
this
this and
like
get us,
jumping in?
not only get us fired, but get both of us arrested. So we're walking out to the plane. Walking out to the plane, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this now. On the tarmac, on the private side of LAX. So we're by the plane. We're right by the runway, just off the runway, right? Or one of the roadways by the runway. I said, Ireland, I'll give you $1,000 right now if you just take off and run across the runway.
No.
And I literally was.
No.
He said, give
Greg,
me the money.
I was out of my seat and halfway down
No.
the aisle before he said, "Don't do it. You'll get arrested."
You will get arrested. You get fired. It's a federal offense. He was actually going to run across an active runway at LAX for $1,000.
John.
Greg, it's $1,000.
I told him, that's a federal felony. You can't do that.
I know you're a crazy guy and you do a lot of things, but that's going to jail. Like, and you'd lose your job.
I only have two rules, as you know, when you guys give me a dare. One is I don't do it if it's going to injure me. And number two, if it's going to get me fired.
But you didn't think that was going to get you fired?
I didn't
would get you
because I
fired.
didn't see any other planes at the time you dared me.
No
That's
planes.
against the law.
Yeah.
But no, Pepe, there were no other planes out there.
Get him, Pepe.
Pepe, there are no other planes out
Listen, I worked for 20 years.
I know you did.
And I walked up and down the runways.
Yeah, but
okay, wait a second. 20 years in that industry, 40 years in...
He's 78. Pepe, you know this, Michael? Pepe won't tell us how old he is. So Beto did some research and said he's 78. Do you think?
No, he doesn't have any gray hair.
Well, he might dye it. You don't know.
Cappy dyes his hair.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah.
the same.
Cappy go to the same hairdresser.
Pepe is okay. Pepe, just yes or no on this.
No.
Are you 78?
No. Listen, Greg. See, am I that important that you guys
Yes.
waste time program after program asking my age. I'm not going to tell you how old I am.
It's literally to get that exact reaction.
Why are you ashamed?
You walked right into it.
Why are you ashamed of your age?
I'm not ashamed of my age.
Well, say it.
I look younger than you.
You
Exactly.
do. You look younger than me.
Yeah.
I'm 60. You're not younger than me.
You look younger than me. I'm
Michael's
40.
68, right?
Yeah, I'll be like Sam Kinison in Back to School. Say it. How old are you? Say it.
God, he's dating himself right there.
I know.
Back to school is like in the 80s.
Well, we're lucky Pepe hasn't mentioned Betty Davis. Betty Davis once told me, that's why we think you're 78. All your references are from the 40s.
You guys are really beyond stupidity. Really. I mean, like if I talk about Christopher Columbus or George Washington, doesn't mean that I met them.
You're ashamed of your age. How much do you weigh? Are you ashamed of that too?
Why? You're in
What
good
does that
shape.
have to do with
Well, because people that won't reveal their age don't want to. Like Mason used to be like this. He used to be like no personal details.
Right, yeah.
And then once he came out, that's what he was
Because
hiding.
like Pepe,
now he'll answer anything.
Obviously, you can't ask a lady about her weight or her age, but you're not a lady.
Well, I almost says Emily Hebel's birthday is today. Would it have been rude for me
Happy
to ask?
birthday, Emily.
Yeah, happy birthday, Em. To ask her how old she is?
She told her she's 26.
Right,
28.
but would it be
28.
you just took 2 years off her
okay.
life.
No, I
she'll
asked
be
her.
happy. But is that rude to ask her that?
No, she's so young. Why should
That's
she
what
be
I say
ashamed?
too.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to ask a lady her age,
Right.
or the size of the shoes.
Why not
Shoes.
size of the shoes?
Because that's the ladies. The ladies don't want to.
Can you ask
tell
her?
You that.
Can you ask her?
Okay, you don't have to believe me. Okay?
No, I
You
do
go and
believe
ask
you.
a
I just
lady.
don't know why.
Just never heard that before. Why?
I've never heard that you
well,
shouldn't ask a woman her shoe size.
You never heard about the lavender and the scorpions. Remember?
What are we talking about now? Shoes, lavender, scorpions?
All of it. Yeah.
She's ashamed of
Because
his
you
age.
don't believe anything I said.
Wait, it took you this long to catch on to that?
Pepe, the only person on this station who's an ageist is Mason. He would hate you for your age.
Right.
No,
We love you for your age.
Well, Mason's 60, but he thinks he's 30.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right, coming up next is
What's your shoe size, Pepe?
Yeah, what's your shoe size?
The shoes that I have is size 10.
You're the same as me. I'm 10 and a half. What are you? You're like a 14,
I'm 16,
right?
baby.
16.
You're like 20.
Women love big shoes.
Why, Michael?
Really? You want to walk into that
Yes.
now?
Yes,
You want
I
a new
do.
title?
Right, I did.
Is
It was
true
on
that-
purpose.
Is it true that you sleep standing up?
Yes, I do.
Count Dracula?
No, because I'm a
That-
horse.
No, that's Stu. Stu can sleep in any configuration,
exactly. That's
and
right.
he
The
can sleep
horse-
until like 2 in the afternoon. All right, coming up next is Sports Graffiti. Pepe, give me an honest review. What do you think of Sports Graffiti?
I love sports graffiti.
All right, so it's coming up next. Here's how it works. Greg, you're going to call this number, 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776. Greg's going to answer the phone. Just give me your name. You don't have to tell him what you're going to talk about. And then I'll punch you up. I'll say, Michael, you're on Sports Graffiti, go. And you got 15 seconds to say whatever you want. You can talk about what's happening with the Lakers. You can talk about anything we've talked about or anything you want to talk about. We'll tackle your phone calls coming up next. Sports Graffiti. Pepe Montilla's here. Mychal Thompson's here. We're all over this Danny Hurley story. Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, dropped the world's biggest Woj bomb on day one of the NBA Finals, in that the Lakers are targeting Danny Hurley to be their next head coach. Again, I'm going to repeat this a lot today. It is not close to being done, but there's mutual interest. And so we'll stay on top of that story as well. Sports Graffiti next, 877-710-3776. Your call's coming up, ESPN LA.
Sports Radio, we're here each weekday, 1 to 4 p.m. for your afternoon. Sandwiched between Travis and Sliwa and Sonato and Cap. Mason and Ireland continues now.
All right, it's time for Sports Graffiti. Mychal Thompson's here. Pepe Montilla is here. And now it's your chance to sound off about anything you want. Any of this Danny Hurley news, what's going on with the Lakers, game 1 in the NBA Finals. You can say something to Mychal, to Pepe, to Greg, to me, to Cody, anything you want. As soon as I tell you to go, that's your chance. Don't ask us how we're doing. Don't pontificate. You got 15 seconds, and we're going to start with Chris. Chris, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, I love the Dan Hurley idea. That's awesome. Create some real Laker culture. I got my 2 sons in the car with me. We listen to you guys as much as we can, and we love you. Say something, boys. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I love you. We love the station, man.
All right, thank you, Chris.
And whenever we're at Laker games, we wave at Pepe.
Oh, there you go, Pepe.
Thank you. Gracias.
2 people.
Yeah, well, and we can't see him. They must be in the bathroom because Mychal and I are looking for him, Pepe. We don't see anybody.
And the policeman told
Oh, that's
me
true. That some cop came up to me and said he waves to Pepe at every game. Steven, you're on Sports Graffiti. Let's see. Punch.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I'm
Steven.
75 years old, in the late 60s and early 70s, tripping, looking for somewhere to blow a blunt. I used to go out to Ontario Airport after midnight. There would be nobody around in the terminal, and you could walk right straight through out onto the tarmac and onto the runway, and we would sit down on the white line because we could see where the planes were touching down, and we would sit down on the white line and fire it up and watch the planes come in over
All right,
our
Mychal,
heads.
there it is. I'm going to Ontario to take your $1,000. I'm going to sit on the runway with those guys. I won't do the blunt, but I'll sit with them.
Gummy? Can you gummy up?
I'll gummy up. That's a good
I
one.
don't know if you can do that today.
Don, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, guys. Hey, I just want to say a few things real quick. Number one, Laura, I miss you a lot. I love hearing you.
She'll be back next week.
Nice. Pepe, you're a great guy. I love listening when you're on. And Mason, be careful. That COVID, it can be hell on the elderly. Love you, brother.
Oh, man.
Mason will love
Shots.
that. Ariel, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Ariel.
Hey, guys. So I was having a debate about what Lakers jersey should get retired next. Now, my vote was Derek Fisher. Do you guys agree, or maybe do you have someone that you would recommend?
Yeah, the Hall of Famer, Michael Cooper, 21's going up.
That's what's going to go up. Ariel, in Laker land, you make the Hall of Fame, you get your number retired. You don't make the Hall of Fame, you don't. That's it. It's that simple. Jimmy, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Jimmy.
Hola, Pepe, ¿cómo estás? Soy Jimmy Mateo. No queréis hablar de fútbol, pero habláis de pedos y de pelo. Hay que empezar a hablar de la Copa América, la Copa Europa, y la Champions League.
All right, what do you say, Pepe?
Then we have to talk about soccer, Copa America, World Cup, and the Champions League. Okay, I will tell these guys, but they don't listen.
I love soccer, Pepe.
Champions League.
A la Madrid.
The Champions League final just happened, right?
Yes, Real Madrid won.
And then right after that, they got another great player, right?
Mbappe.
Yeah, right, killing
Hey,
Mbappe.
Pepe, why won't France let Mbappe play for France in the Olympics?
Well, I don't know.
It's probably.
I thought you knew soccer.
Why can't they? Because he can play. He cannot play in the Olympics because probably he doesn't want to play in the Olympics.
I think you have to be under 23, don't you?
No, for the U.S. men are doing that. The U.S. men are only taking under 23, but not
no.
in France.
They allowed to take 1 or 2 players that are.
That's
over
right.
there.
Yeah, that's right. 1 or 2.
All right, here's Stan. Stan, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, guys, LeBron James is laughing his ass off knowing that all of you guys took his Reddick bait. It's going to take a week for you guys to get the hook out of your mouth. And on another note, did Dave Roberts really let Chris Taylor bat trailing 1-0 with a man on second? The guy's batting 99. 99. What's the over in Vegas that he's going to bat 100? Come on.
Well, before you let him go, Travis Rogers made a great point. Don't you think, caller, that it looks like Chris Taylor's over swinging, trying to hit the ball too hard?
Yeah, but who cares? He's batting 99.
I think that's fair enough. Thanks, Dan.
And Michael, he's been doing that for 3 years.
Yeah. But the problem, Greg, is it's not like they have other options. Outman's in the minors. Kike's not hitting. I don't know who else you ask to go in that situation.
Miguel Vargas going to be in left field today. Maybe he can help you.
Yeah.
So why do you think that
we got
he
Sports
stays?
Graffiti.
Jared, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
In your opinions, what professional sport would you say is the hardest to repeat a championship?
Ooh, that's a great
That's
question.
a great question. For me, if you study it, there have been 6 straight NBA players, but for me, it's baseball because there's so many variables.
It's football for me. Injuries.
Well, the Chiefs just won back-to-back.
It's a first time in a long time.
And 3 of the last 4.
Yeah, Pepe, what do you think? Toughest to repeat?
Baseball.
Yeah. Let's
Hockey.
go to Devin. Devin, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Laker Dev, caller of the year, listener of the year. And just to show you, I'm a man of the people. I'm out here right now campaigning. Excuse me, sir. Would you mind voting for me in the Mandy Awards this year? Would you mind voting for me in the ESPN Mandy Awards this year?
ESPN.
Yes. Would you mind voting for me this year? For Mandy. I'm a caller of the year, listener of the year. Would you vote for me this year for the Mandy Awards? Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Laker
All
Dev
right,
out there
I'm a man of the
hustling
people.
votes,
I'm out
Dev.
here campaigning.
Good luck.
All right.
Jose, you're on Sports Graffiti. Oops. Let's try Jose. Punch up line 4, Cody. Line 4 is no good in here. Jose, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
All right, I'm really hoping the Lakers get Hurley, but even if they don't, doesn't matter who they get. The Lakers managed to take the spotlight away from the Celtics on Game 1 of the final.
I didn't even think about that. You're 100% right. Yeah.
Boston.
Lynn, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Lynn.
Hey, Danny Hurley would be great. You know why? Because he brings fire. Most of the Lakers coaches has been dull over the years, so this guy will get in people's faces and get the best out of them. That's something, from what I can see, Darvin, he wasn't organized enough, and he didn't get in anybody's face.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Here's Mark. Mark, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, guys. Thanks for this. I love this graffiti. I have 2-letter B's for you. Number 1 is billion. How come a billion-dollar Dodger lineup can't hit the ball? And the second B is, why can't they bunt?
Well, a lot of teams don't bunt at all anymore.
I know. That's a lost art.
Because they don't want to give away outs.
Small ball. Nobody likes to play small ball anymore.
Yeah. Josh, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Josh.
All right, I know you guys got to come from an optimistic approach, but I'm going to come from a realistic approach.
Okay.
What if it doesn't work out for Hurley because his type of game doesn't correlate to the NBA? What happens then?
Well, we've fired the coach every 2 years for the last 10 years, so, I mean, I think we all know what happens then. That's part of the equation. So I think what McMenamin was talking about is they're going to give him some tenure.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to give him 5-6 years to give him a chance to work it out. Here's Miguel. Miguel, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Big fan of Pepe, and I mean no disrespect, but when you wave to the crowd at the games, are you including yourself on the Jumbotron as the other person waving back? Also, Michael, this question's for Michael. Is heavyweight boxing a dead sport? Where's the next great heavyweight?
The next great heavyweight is a young kid who's 19 years old out of England called Moses Itama. 19 years old. He fights like a bigger version of Mike Tyson. Remember that name? 19-year-old Moses Itama. This guy is ferocious.
All right, here's Frankie D. Fresh. Hey, Frankie, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
What it do, babies? It's your boy Frankie D. Fresh. And Pepe, you better be writing out on the llama at the Mandy Awards. Also, Greg, you're a sleeper for the Best Smile Award. And Michael, as a Ravens fan, will you please vote for me for the Mandy for Fan of the Year?
You got it, baby.
Yeah, all right, Frankie. He's got your vote. By the way, Michael, I think the Ravens, I think the sneaky great move of the NFL offseason is the Ravens adding Derrick Henry. I think that dude is going to give Lamar Jackson, because now you have to put guys in the box.
I love Lamar Jackson, but I'm going to pull for the Ravens, but I've lost all confidence in 14-2. Home field to get to the Super Bowl. They can't score in the second half. They're done.
But wait a minute. They didn't have Derrick Henry. This guy,
it's going to change.
Yeah, you can't.
That's the point of
you can't tackle him.
They got to let Lamar be Lamar. Stop trying to turn him into Peyton Manning.
Oh, you know what I was going to ask, and that'll wrap up Sports Graffiti. I was going to ask you something. Speaking of UConn, we're doing all this Danny Hurley talk. Gino Auriemma did an interview yesterday, and he says Caitlin Clark is being targeted by the veterans of the WNBA. You went and saw her play in person. You buying that?
I'm glad you brought this up because I am so peed off about this Caitlin Clark situation. You are absolutely right. Gino's right. The WNBA players are doing the right thing, targeting her, trying to make her prove herself. They're jealous of her. They're envious of her. Of course they're jealous. I'm jealous of you in Ireland, you and Mason. I wish I could make the money you guys make. Of course I'm jealous and envy of that. And you know what? You know why I'm jealous of you guys? Because you guys make way more money than everybody else, but you guys prove that you deserve it. Right now, as much as I love her, Caitlin Clark is letting these girls punk her.
What would you tell her if you had her
Ireland.
here?
Michael Jordan got punked when he came into the league, as far as trying to see how what he's all about.
Right.
So did LeBron. But you know what those guys did? They said, you trying to punk me? F you. This is what I'm going to give you. I'm giving you 30 a game. That's what they did. Yeah, they tried to get punked. They got tested, but they gave it right back. She's letting these girls affect her game. She's
So
not the same player.
what would you tell her to do?
Play like you played at Iowa. Stop playing like you're just a basic point guard. Come down and pull up from 30. When I was at the game last week with Clay at Crypto, 19,000 people, 100 people, more people than the Laker game. When she made those threes at the end of the game, you would thought the Lakers just won the game.
So people love her.
People are there to watch her play like she played at Iowa. Why doesn't her coach and Caitlin get this?
Because this is nothing new. Every player that comes from college, the transition is really hard because it's a different animal. The NBA, the WNBA is a different animal. The players are proven.
You're right, Pepe. You're right. But the fact is that Caitlin is not coming out, and she ain't balling. She
has to do it.
She's like
point.
20%.
Pepe, I almost think I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but I almost think that's a cop-out. Wembanyama,
yes,
everybody targeted him, and he put up monster numbers
yes,
the whole year.
Because he's responding to that.
Right.
But I can give you examples of players that were drafted high when they came from college, and they thought, oh, we made it. But then they come to...
so do you think she's doing that? You think Caitlin's doing that? She seems to me like she's trying, and they're just
but
beating her
she's
up.
not playing to the level that she's supposed to be playing,
That's what I just said.
showing everybody what she can do.
Yeah,
that's what
That's Michael's point.
That's what I'm saying. Caitlin, come on, man. You got to respond. Yes, they're punking you, but respond the way Jordan did.
Did you have a problem like I did with the fact that her teammates didn't stand up for her when that girl hip checked her? I thought that was wrong.
Yeah, Leah Boston just
like if you're the best player on you've been on teams like when you're in high school, you're the best player on the team. When you're the Lakers, you weren't. But when you came to the Lakers, if somebody would have taken out Magic or Kareem, I think you would have gotten in their face.
Well, I'm not a fighter, but yeah, you got to respond. You just can't.
You don't have to fight,
do
but you got to step to him.
Step to him. Yeah, nobody stepped up.
Does that say
the
that
coach has to do something too?
Yes.
Yeah, but does that say that the players on her team, her teammates, don't respect her also?
There's something going on, man. I'm telling you, a lot of
that's
girls are
something,
jealous
right?
of her.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point.
But the fact
because
is,
if you don't respect them, if Michael didn't respect Magic Johnson, which you never would do that, but if you didn't respect him and he fell, you wouldn't go pick him up.
Yeah, good for you. I'm glad it happened to you.
Yeah, get down there.
But
Stay
you're right.
down there.
The fact that she's letting these girls punk her and not play like she's free flowing and beat Caitlin, she's playing like she's Kate Winslet.
All right, coming up next, only Danny Hurley and the Lakers could have us go an hour and 15 minutes on Game 1 of the NBA Finals and never bring up the NBA Finals. We'll do that next, and we'll stay on top of the Danny Hurley news. If you're just joining us, Adrian Wojnarowski dropped a Woj bomb. This is like an atomic bomb at 4 o'clock this morning that the Lakers are targeting Danny Hurley to be their next head coach. We talked to Dave McMenamin last hour. I'm talking to some of the people Dave's talking to. What we're being told is, yes, there is mutual interest. Yes, the Lakers are targeting Danny Hurley, but the phrase I was told by someone who knows is slow your roll, that this is not close to being done yet. So, Michael, you mentioned J.J. Redick earlier, still very much a candidate. James Borrego still very much a candidate. But the Danny Hurley story is real. There is interest on both sides, and we'll stay on top of it for you. Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA. Pepe Montilla is here. Mychal Thompson is here. We're covering the breaking Danny Hurley news that he is now being targeted by the Lakers.
Is he related to Elizabeth?
No, he's related to Bobby.
Oh, okay.
And
maybe a sister.
And his father, Bob, was a longtime successful high school coach.
Yeah, of course.
And you know what's interesting? Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, wrote a book about Bob Hurley, Bobby Hurley, and Danny Hurley's dad. So he knows this family really well.
Would it be weird if he hired his son, his brother Bobby to be his assistant?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan D'Antoni was Mike D'Antoni's assistant, and he was fine. But here's Woj talking about the Lakers, and this runs about 2 minutes. Here's Woj talking about the Lakers and Danny Hurley and where things stand.
The Lakers over the next few days are in a full court press to convince Dan Hurley to come to L.A. He has told them that he wants to hear them out. And I think the Lakers, Rob Pelinka, they want to put a program in place in L.A. They don't want to just have coach to coach. They want to put a program in for the long term. They want Dan Hurley's player development program. The NBA is changing. You can't in LA anymore just trade 3 or 4 first-round picks to bring in a star player and think you can have a roster that can win. That is how they got Anthony Davis. But you are seeing you have to draft well. You have to develop your young players. And in LA, I think the belief is always you're going to be able to get the star player who, finds his way to LA. But you're going to have to grow your young players. And the idea of Bronny James and the Lakers, they have the 55th pick. Who better, potentially, than Dan Hurley to be the development coach, to lead his growth than the coach who's, really dominated the college sport. You talk about, X's and O acumen, player development. There's been more than one NBA coach who has said to me in recent months, talking about, even as they're watching tape on UConn for Donovan Clingan or Stephen Castle or others, they talk about the sophistication of UConn's offense. And I've had more than one coach say, this would really translate to our league. And certainly Rob Pelinka has recognized that. And from day one of this Lakers search, guys, it has been Dan Hurley. Now, they've interviewed other candidates. They don't know whether they can get Dan Hurley. So they have certainly interviewed other candidates. They have talked to others. But there has been one focus of this search, and that's UConn's coach.
All right, so there it is, the latest from Adrian Wojnarowski. We want to say congratulations to Michael Perez from Westmont. He was caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN on a Ticket Thursday, and he wins a pair of tickets to see Imagine Dragons on Saturday night, October 26th at the Hollywood Bowl. Imagine Dragons have added a third night at the Bowl. Keep listening all day for your chance to win on a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. All right, simultaneously, this big Laker news going on with Dan Hurley. Tonight's game 1 in the NBA Finals. As luck would have it, Mychal Thompson played in multiple NBA Finals.
3 of them. Went to 4, played in 3.
What is game 1 of the Finals like? Go back to the first Finals game you ever played in. Are you excited, nervous, both? What's it like?
Ain't nothing like it, except maybe a game 7 when you know it's all or nothing on this one. But game 1, you're so excited. You're finally tired of happy that the game is finally here after 9 days off. Finally can get back out on the court. You're nervous. Even if you're in the league for 10 or 15 or 20 years like LeBron, you're nervous because it's the NBA Finals, because you want to play well every possession.
And you played in the 3 finals you played in. You played 1 against Boston, 2 against Detroit, right?
Yeah. And the fourth one, it was against the Bulls, but I didn't play in that one. I was a DNP, did not play coach's decision in all the games, and that's why we lost the finals, by the way.
And that was Mike Dunleavy, right?
Mike Dunleavy, that was Michael Jordan's first championship, which he wouldn't have won if James Worthy was healthy, even though you think they would have won it anyway, Ireland.
Michael Jordan was 6-0 in the NBA Finals with 6 Finals MVPs.
He'd have been 5-1 if Worthy was healthy. Remember, we won game 1.
Well, I
Chicago.
love Worthy, but
First of all, you said that they didn't win because you didn't play.
Right.
All right. So
you disagree with that?
Totally.
So, Michael, are these guys tonight? I mean, is it more nervous or more excited?
A combination of all of the above. Nervous, excited, anxious. You can't wait just to get out there and get playing again because you're nervous. You just want to build up a sweat and get out there and play again.
So will this affect some of the players? And they won't perform well?
Oh, yeah, it could. It definitely could affect you mentally a little bit because the pressure, you feel so much pressure. Now, Boston's been there before. It was a couple of years ago with Tatum and Yeah, Tatum and Brown, of course, against the Warriors. So they've been there. They had a taste of it. But this is the Mavericks' first chance getting there. Obviously, Kyrie's been there several times, but he's the only one on that roster who's been in this championship atmosphere. Luka, as great as he is, he'll be a little bit nervous. We'll see how he plays. But, yeah, you definitely feel the nerves tonight, Pepe, for sure.
Pepe, who wins and in how many games?
I think that Dallas is going to win. I think it's going to go to 7 games. But
So you think Dallas would win it in Boston?
The most important thing in my opinion, is that Dallas win one of the 2 games.
I agree with you.
In Boston.
Michael, who wins how many games?
Boston in 6. I think they'll hold home court advantage and win in 6.
Do you know how insufferable?
How dare you?
You know how insufferable those people will be when we go back. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how Cedric Maxwell is going to treat us if that happens?
I think I'm going to go in disguise when we go to Boston. I'm going to put.
Just call in sick.
Yeah, I could do that. Just miss the game or something because he's going to be hunting me down and he is just going to be in my ear and I just won't be able to get away from him, Pepe. He's been telling me for years and years Boston's going to get to 18 before the Lakers get to 18.
But they're closer.
No, you know what Michael told him when Cedric Maxwell came to see us? He goes, "Hey, Maxwell, turn around. See that? Look at that banner. It's number 18 right there. In-season tournament
That's right.
banner.
That's a championship banner. We got number 18 before they did.
One player.
Bergman, who wins how many games?
I got Dallas in 6. And Michael, how dare you? As a Laker, are you picking the Boston Celtics?
Boston.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you can't pick them if you were a Laker.
Why?
Because I respect Boston.
Oh, stop it.
I hate it. I wanted to beat
Would
Bird
Cedric
and
Maxwell
McHale,
pick the Lakers?
But you got to respect what Tatum and Brown and Drew Holiday are doing.
Although, Michael, Dallas, but by the way, Pepe, to your point, 80% of the money so far, public money, is on Dallas.
And you got to remember, Boston just got better because Porzingis is back.
Right,
but
but
he's going to help them.
If you were going to do a draft of everybody available in the
that's a great
finals, okay, the first pick is Luka, right?
Probably, yeah, Luka.
And is the second pick Kyrie or Tatum?
Kyrie.
I think it's Kyrie. But
so
then
you're
you'd
talking
pick a bunch of Celtics after that.
Rest of Celtics after that.
So it's going to be a matter of if that backcourt can impose their will on the game. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
They'll play well, but like Shaq always says, the others, if P.J. Washington and Derek Jones are knocking down threes, which they're going to get a lot of them. But Boston is so deep. Boston's got like 6 guys who can get you 20 points.
Right. And Greg, we have the game, right? We have the whole series. And Sedano's doing sidelines for the game, right?
He is.
So he's probably not doing the show today, right?
So he will be on from 3. He'll be
in Super
3 to
Crosstalk?
3:30. He'll do Super Crosstalk in one segment, and then he has to go to the game.
Okay. So coming up next, Pepe and I had a chance on Monday night to go to the premiere of Clipped. I went and watched the second episode the night after we saw the first episode, and it was even better than the first one. We'll tell you why, and the latest on Dan Hurley to the Lakers. First, let me tell you about Terranea. Terranea is my favorite place to go in Southern California. It is a luxury resort on the cliffs of the Palos Verdes Peninsula, and you cannot beat it for a getaway spot. I often tell people it's like going to Hawaii without getting on a plane. They have 4 award-winning restaurants. You can rent electric bikes. They have a spectacular golf course. They have 4 different pools. Ralph Grippo, the guy that runs this place, is the best hotel executive I know, and I stay in hotels, so does Michael, over 100 nights a year. You got to check out Terranea. Do me a favor. Go to this website, terranea.com, TERRANEA.com. If you're trying to make plans for a summer vacation, you don't want to pay these outrageous airfares, these outrageous hotel prices. Spend some money, do a staycation, go to Terranea, and you can thank me later. It is the best kept secret in Southern California, but it's not going to be secret for much longer because when you go, you'll go back every year like I do. Terranea, Terranea.com. Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA. Mason in Ireland. Pepe Montilla is here today. Mychal Thompson is here today. Only a 2-hour show, so one more segment, then Game of Games. Michael's games are always great, and he's got the game today.
I always stump Pepe.
So, speaking of Pepe, Pepe and I had the opportunity on Monday night to go to the premiere of Clipped, which we've been talking about all week around here. Ramona Shelburne's podcast series turned into a 6-part TV miniseries by the people at FX and Hulu.
Did you sit next to Pepe at the theater?
We sat near each other,
Good.
but we haven't talked since we walked out that night.
right.
What'd you think?
I think it's great. I think
I do too.
everybody should watch it. Michael, you should do it. I mean,
I am.
No, but you're not.
Why?
Well, no,
because you should by now.
Well, but Pepe, I mentioned to you during the break that episode 2's out. You haven't seen it yet. Episode 2's even better than episode 1, and I'm with you. Episode 1 was fantastic.
Very good, very intriguing.
My favorite part of it was how they nailed the 4 main characters in casting. Like, after a while, watching Jackie Weaver play Shelley Sterling, Michael and I have met Shelley. It's just like her. I mean, I thought I was watching Shelley.
Totally.
Ed O'Neill does a really good job playing Donald. He's got all his weird, quirky things going on. I thought Lawrence Fishburne as Doc Rivers was really strong. And I think, Greg, you were there too. I think Cleopatra Coleman as
was
V.
amazing.
Stiviano steals every scene she's in.
She was absolutely
If anybody
amazing.
wins an Emmy, I think it might be her.
Probably her. Ed O'Neill could have a chance.
Yeah.
He was really good Donald Sterling.
But it's great.
Totally in agreement about the girl. But I didn't know she was from Australia.
She's an Australian ballet dancer who is an actress. And by the way, Jackie Weaver, who plays Shelley Sterling, is also from Australia. And Jackie didn't come to Hollywood until she was 63. And she was in Silver Linings Playbook. Now she's in this. She just kills it. I talked to Ramona yesterday. So happy for her. Ramona's going to get back in the swing of things next week. If you haven't been following this, tragically, Ramona's father passed away right in the middle of all this. And he was
unexpectedly.
He was battling cancer, and he had a setback during treatment, and he couldn't get out of it. But so Ramona's been kind of managing that, but she's going to come join us next week, and she's going to go back to covering the NBA Finals as well. So look forward to catching up with her. But Pepe, the thing I always think about when I think about the Donald Sterling whole saga is it produced. Everybody knows I love Michael, but it produced my favorite Mychal Thompson bit of all time. When this whole thing went down, the story of Clipped, Michael took the words to Old MacDonald Has a Farm and rewrote this song. Hit it, Cody.
Old man Donald had a team, E-I-E-I-O. And on his team he had some blacks and V-Stiviano. With a black man here and a black man there. He said, if you're black or with a black, I don't want you to come back. Old MacDonald had a team and says, hell no, I won't go.
What do you think, Pepe?
That's very, very good and very good and very funny
and very accurate.
Right.
It has the added bonus of being true.
But the movie with each character,
the miniseries, yeah,
you feel it.
Yeah.
You really feel it. I mean, it makes you suffer when you see the wife.
And Greg, I'll tell you what, at least I thought, you and I haven't talked a lot since we walked out that night, but I thought it's not only captivating, it's funny, it's interesting, and I didn't think they would be able to articulate just how weird Donald Sterling actually is, but I think they nailed it. Don't you think that?
Absolutely nailed it. As if someone if you're just younger and just didn't really remember this time period, this seems like exactly who he is as a person. And if you were actually there, this is walking around guys like Blake Griffin, holding him by the hand and walking around a white body.
Look at this fabulous black body.
Look at his body. Oh my God. It's just so creepy, but that's just how it was. It was weird.
But it is.
Did a great job.
It's must-see TV, if not only if you're a sports fan, but if you enjoy drama. It's got sex, it's got power, it's got sports. It's perfect for most of the people. So check it out. It's on Hulu. It's called Clipped, and it's based on Ramona Shelburne's podcast series from 5 years ago. And Ramona's been one of the executive producers. She's been right in the middle of it. Can't wait to talk to her about it next week. But in the meantime, you guys should absolutely watch it. Now, I want to make a point of at least touching on this Dan Hurley story in every segment. So here's something new. Greg found this. This is fascinating. Dan Hurley was on J.J. Redick's podcast. Now, of course, this was...
In April, by the way.
Yeah, this was before either one of them were candidates for the Laker job. Darvin was still employed as the Lakers coach. But they break down film together. And so, Michael, you said you'd be happy with either guy, Dan Hurley or J.J. Redick. Listen to these two guys break down film on JJ's podcast.
There's a play you guys have where you run a skip pass to the big, and then you get into a series of high splits. Sometimes it's a ghost screen for a dunk, or you get to a three-pointer either on a DHO or a catch and shoot. Where did the did you steal that play from?
So I think the inspiration the last 2 years, especially this year, is like watching college football now, or Shanahan from the NFL, how they'll have like these obviously the pace and the tempo of their cuts and their actions, but like how they'll have like trips out of shotgun, with two in the backfield, and out of that formation, there's like 7 or 8 different things they do out of it, right? There's like a sweep, a play action, a deep post, right? All these different things. So, me and Luke Murray, we got together and we're like, we want to have like, 10 different formations, all right? Whether it's, a floppy, a regular horns with the 4 and 5 high, an inverted horns, a low 1-4. We want to have like 8 to 10 different, different formations that we would have, all these different wrinkles for, right?
All right, so 2 points out of that. Number one, you heard him say the name Luke Murray. That is, so you guys all know. Do you know this, Greg? Bill Murray's son.
Oh, really?
Bill Murray, the actor. His son is one of Danny Hurley's lead assistants. So if Hurley came here, there is a decent chance that either Luke Murray gets the UConn job to replace Danny, or he comes here
as an assistant,
and Bill Murray's going to start coming to our games. That's number one. The other thing, Michael, that I thought you would be impressed with was this dude, Hurley, is stealing plays from other sports. Mm-hmm. He's watching soccer games and football games, and he's looking at the way that space and formations can create plays. That's why I love this idea so much. I don't know if the Lakers can land Dan Hurley, but if they do, I love everything about it. If Mason were here, he always says, what's new, what's next? Isn't that this? Isn't Dan Hurley what's new and what's next?
It's impressive. It is impressive to mention the football plays and all that. I was really surprised.
Yeah, but
it came out recently, by the way, too, that you remember that Eric Spoelstra used to go to Oregon games to watch Chip Kelly's offense.
We played that.
Yeah, and this is basically the exact same thing, but in different ways.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
It works. You don't think Spo's a good coach?
Need to go back in the archives and watch Jack Ramsey's plays.
Oh, jeez.
Weak side action, cuts, screen downs.
Right, but Michael, everybody
that was basketball.
But everybody everybody has figured out how to defend those plays.
No, there's no such thing in the NBA now. It's all high screen, shoot a three.
Right, but except Michael, you're right. It's predictable offense.
Unbelievable.
You pointed out when we do the games.
Boring.
But Danny Hurley is not running high screen and roll.
Yeah.
He's running all these goofy cuts
totally different
and back actions.
Yeah.
This is what
Didn't you hear?
Michael, this is what you've been asking for.
Yeah.
You always say that NBA offenses are unimaginative. This dude is Chip Kelly coaching basketball.
It's just ball movement, man movement, weak side action.
Yeah, but people. The reason, Michael, the reason he's won 2 straight titles when 80% of his players left after the first year is because he's running plays they haven't figured out how to defend.
Michael, just shoot threes, go one-on-one.
Michael, are you living in the 60s and 70s on purpose?
Yes.
Like this is, like you're talking.
He always goes back.
Yes, I am. Basketball now is pedestrian. It's pathetic.
But they're actually doing something. He's doing something different.
Yeah, Greg, I'm with you.
To what John's saying, he's doing something different. All that horn stuff. I don't know what horns are.
Totally.
That's like 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Hey, let me get this in before we go to Game of Games. All right,
Chris will fall for anything.
Chris Paul, who is rumored to possibly be a candidate to come to the Lakers.
That's smart. I hope so.
You thought he was good on the Warriors, right?
He only needs to play 20 minutes a game.
I agree with you.
And
all right,
he'll be in the finishing lineup.
He was just on the Pat McAfee show.
He is so good.
Okay, They asked him about this.
I hope he comes.
No, they didn't ask him about coming to the Lakers. They asked him about Redick versus Hurley.
Yeah.
Here's what he said. J.J. Redick was my teammate. They played together on the Clippers.
Yeah.
You don't got to believe everything that you hear. I've got so much respect for Dan Hurley, not just because of how he coaches, but how his players respond to him. Why would Chris Paul be talking up Dan Hurley unless he knew something?
Yeah, obviously. I'm sure.
Or
Chris,
talking down J.J. Redick.
I'm sure Chris is very well connected.
And he's one of LeBron's best friends.
Exactly, so he knows what's going
on. So
on.
I think this Hurley thing is real.
Yeah.
We'll find out. All right, coming up next, Game of Games.
Pepe, you ready?
Mychal Thompson has the game.
Yes.
Greg's going to play. Cody's going to play. I'm going to play. Pepe's going to play. And Mychal will deliver the goods next. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
And nothing like a Thursday Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com. Call Jacob. Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle. Call Jacob. Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today, but Mychal Thompson's here, Pepe Montilla's here, Cody Lou's here, Greg Bergman's here. It's time for Game of Games, and Mychal Thompson has the game today. Mike, what do we got?
NBA Finals trivia. Tonight's the NBA Finals start. Let's find out what y'all know about the NBA Finals. The multiple choice here. The lowest get-in price for Game 1 tonight is what? $900, $1,000, or $1,100?
Cody.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
900, 1,000, or 1,100. Lowest get-in price.
1,100.
Greg.
1,000.
Pepe.
1,000.
I'll go 900.
It is 900.
Okay.
Multiple choice. The highest rated NBA Finals series was what? Bulls, Jazz, 98. Heat, Mavs, 11. Cavs, Warriors, 18.
Greg.
Cavs, Warriors, 18.
Pepe.
Cavs, Warriors.
I think it is that. I'll go Cavs, Warriors, 18. Cody.
I'm with the crowd.
Bulls, Jazz, 98.
Yeah, we should have known. The ratings have gone down every year as we've gotten older.
Multiple choice. Although never an All-Star, he was named NBA Finals MVP. Andre Iguodala, Cedric Maxwell, or Chauncey Billups?
Pepe.
Repeat the question.
Oh, God.
All right, from now on, we're going to penalize people that ask to repeat the question.
Okay.
Never an All-Star, but he was
God,
named
Michael.
NBA
Pay
Finals
attention.
MVP. Iguodala, Maxwell, or Billups?
Billups.
This one's me. I'll go Maxwell. Cody.
Maxwell.
Greg.
I'll go Iguodala.
It is Maxwell.
Okay, Cody, you got that right?
Yes.
All right, John 2, Cody 1, Pepe and Greg nothing.
Multiple choice. This player holds the record for most points scored in a finals game. Jordan, Baylor, or Wilt?
This one's me. Michael's beating me. The answers to all these questions is always Wilt, but Wilt didn't play well in the finals, so I'll go Elgin Baylor. Cody.
I think it's Baylor, too.
Greg.
Yeah, I think it's Baylor.
Pepe.
Baylor.
It is Baylor.
All right, everybody got that. So now everyone is on the board.
Buzz in if you know.
Okay.
How many points did Elgin Baylor score?
John.
3.
61.
Yep, 61. Game 5, 1962. How many
did
players?
you actually know that?
Yeah, I did.
How many players, multiple choice, have scored 50 points or more in a finals game? 5, 6, or 7?
I know LeBron's done it. This is Greg U. 5, 6, or 7.
I'll go on the low end. 5.
Pepe.
6.
I'm with Greg. I think it's 5. Cody.
I'll go with 6.
It is 7.
Oh, we all missed it.
Multiple choice. What is the most points Kobe scored in a finals game? 40, 42, or 44?
Pepe.
42.
I think he's right. I'm going 42. Cody.
42.
Greg.
I'll go with the crowd. 42.
It's 40.
God, all four of us have missed 3 different questions.
Multiple choice. Who did Kobe score those 40 points against in the finals? Nets, Pacers, or Magic?
Nets, Pacers, or Magic.
Well, I don't know the answer to this. This one is me. I will go Nets. Cody.
Pacers.
Greg.
I'm going to go Magic.
Pepe.
Magic.
Magic.
Okay, Greg and Pepe got it.
Multiple
Good job,
choice.
Pepe.
How many championships in a row did the Celtics win during their Bill Russell dynasty? 7, 8, or 9?
This one is Pepe.
9.
It's either 9 or 8. I'm going to go 8. Cody.
8.
Greg.
I'm pretty sure it's 8.
It is 8.
Okay. Hold on. So let me give you an update here. Cody has 3. Greg has 3. Pepe has 2. John has 5.
Multiple choice. This player is the only player to average 12 assists in the finals. 6 times. Kuzi, LeBron, or Magic?
Cody.
Kuzi.
Greg.
You'll never go against Magic.
You're going Magic?
Yeah.
Pepe.
Magic.
Not only is it Magic, but Mychal, I think he did it 6 times, and I don't think anyone else has done it ever.
Not ever once. How
Yeah.
about that?
All right. So, Greg, you got that,
Yes,
right?
I did.
Pepe, did you get that?
Yes.
And then I got that.
Buzz
Okay.
in. I might have to provide a clue.
Okay.
But buzz in if you know. Robert Horry is one of only 2 players to win a ring with 3 different teams.
John.
Pepe.
John?
It's LeBron.
No. Who is
Wait,
the
who
other?
has, though?
He has. LeBron won
Lakers.
with the Cavs.
Oops, never mind.
Who's the other one?
John Sally.
Okay.
It doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, throw that one out. Throw that one out.
All right, here we go. This player is the only player, multiple choice. This player is the only player to have led players on both teams in the finals in points, rebounds, steals, assists, and blocks. Wilt, LeBron, or Jordan?
Okay, this is also outdated because Jokic did it.
He did?
Yeah. So you got to throw that. You got to throw that one out too.
What was
the
the
answer
answer?
is LeBron, but
LeBron,
Jokic did it
Yeah.
too.
All right, forget
Yeah.
that.
Very good, Michael. Very good.
All right, let's
Tell
do.
me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Okay, what am I up? I'm up. Oh, I'm up by 2. 2. Greg, do 4 more.
Yeah, 4 more is fine.
All right.
Buzz in if you know this one.
All right, buzz in.
Why did Hakeem Olajuwon?
John.
Go ahead.
He was honoring Ramadan.
No. Why did Hakeem Olajuwon auction off his first championship ring?
Greg, he needed money.
Nope.
Pepe.
Yes.
For charity?
Nope.
Cody, you want to guess? I thought Greg's guess was pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say charity, so I don't really know.
All right, what's the answer?
Because of his Muslim faith, forbade him from wearing gold. So he couldn't wear the ring. So he gave it. He
No,
sold
no.
it
You know
off.
what they did? I read about that. They redid a ring
The
for him in
platinum.
platinum.
Platinum,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, 3 more, Greg. You gotta catch up here.
Okay.
Who? Multiple choice. Who is the youngest starter in these finals? P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford, or Luka?
Ooh.
That's hard.
You got to go first.
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna say it is P.J. Washington. Greg.
You put Luca in there. It's kind of screwing me up. I'm going to say Luca.
Pepe.
The other guy that you guys didn't
Gafford.
pick.
Gafford.
You're going Gafford. Cody.
I think it's Luca.
It is Luka.
Yeah.
All right, so Greg, you're now 1 back with 2 to go.
Okay, I don't have to go against you yet.
Yeah, and Pepe, you're out.
Am I still in? I'm out.
Cody, you have 4 and I have 6, so
Okay.
you're still in.
You have to get
But
both.
There we go.
You get to go last, Cody.
Buzz in if you know this one. He is the only Finals MVP.
Cody.
Cody.
Jerry West?
No. He is the only
guess.
Finals MVP eligible for the Hall of Fame, but is not in the Hall of Fame. The only Greg.
Andre Iguodala.
No.
The only player.
I said eligible. Eligible.
Oh, eligible.
The
He's
only
not
player.
eligible.
Wait, did you say Finals MVP?
Finals MVP. He's eligible for the Hall of Fame, but he is not in the Hall of Fame. The only Finals MVP.
I'm gonna say because I don't think he's in
Say
yet.
your name.
John. I'm gonna say Dirk.
No.
He's already in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dirk
Who
got
is
in
it?
last year.
Who is it?
With Kobe.
Cedric Maxwell.
That's fitting.
Yeah,
That it is.
he's not
All
in
right.
the Hall of Fame.
All right. So Greg, 1 left,
Okay.
and you've got to get it to tie me.
Yep.
All right.
Cody, I think you're out.
Yeah, Cody, you're out now.
Dang it.
So it's down to me and Bergman.
Multiple choice. Most free throws made with 21 in a finals game belongs to who? Barkley, Wade, or Jordan?
That's a good question.
It is.
I'm gonna go Wade because I remember him getting fouled a lot.
Yeah, but why would Barkley be in there? So it's Barkley or who?
Wade
Jordan,
or Jordan?
you got to guess Barkley or Jordan.
Jordan makes the most sense, but why is Barkley in there? I'm going to go Barkley.
It is Wade.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
Tiebreaker? You guys
Yeah,
wanna
we'll do it
this
for
one?
fun. Go ahead.
Last year when Denver beat Miami in Game 5 to win the title, how many points was scored in that game, total between the two teams?
Okay. I'm gonna say it was.
Wait,
Okay. Did you write a number down, Cody?
Not yet.
Total
All right,
points
Pepe,
in
you got a
Game
number
5.
in your head? What do you got?
285.
285 says Pepe.
Greg.
274.
274 says Greg.
Cody.
257.
257.
I'm
says
lower
Greg.
than all you guys. I went 222.
And it is 183.
Oh,
94
wow.
to 89.
Wow, close scoring. All right, so that was my day. Am I the only one to win in the month?
No, Emily has a win.
That's right.
When I was out.
So I have 3 and she has 1?
Right.
Okay. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll do some Supercross stock, ESPN LA.
Hey, it's Mace. If you listen to the Mason and Ireland show, you know I love my poker. I love the action and the adrenaline.
Super Crosstalk.
All right, a little super crosstalk. That woo-woo-woo is the voice of Scott Kaplan. Andy Kamenetsky's making his way into the studio, and Sedano will be along shortly from Boston. Pepe Montilla and Mychal Thompson are here. While Andy gets kind of saddled in and throws on a pair of headphones, Cap, do you like this Danny Hurley idea as much as I do?
Oh, I love the idea if it happens. I mean, I absolutely love it if it happens because I think about it like this. I've been saying forever, the Lakers have to figure out what they're going to do in life after LeBron. And I know the popular opinion has been, well, they're going to go out, and they're going to trade picks, and they're going to get a third superstar. And then what's going to happen is LeBron's going to eventually retire, and AD and whoever this third superstar is will take over, the two of them. But why get a third superstar when you could get a long-term coach who's got real credibility?
Well, and you can still do both, Cap.
Right, true, but here's a question, John. Is it going to happen?
Okay, it's a good question, and Andy's here now. And for people who don't know, Andy and his brother Brian host the Locked on Lakers podcast. He probably does more Lakers-related content than even Mychal and I, or Pepe, and we do the games. Andy, I've been told today to slow my roll on Danny Hurley.
There you go.
Here's what I was told by someone who knows. There is mutual interest. It is being explored, but to suggest that it's even close to being done would be a ridiculous overstatement. Do you agree?
I would say if there's one lesson we should have learned over all of this for the past 48 hours, just slow your roll.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really exciting.
And by the way, the same person, Andy, that told me this today told me 4 or 5 years ago when everybody was reporting Ty Lue was going to be the Lakers coach, to slow my roll on Ty Lue.
Look, it's way more fun to speed up your roll.
Right.
Like, speeding up your roll is fun. But I think we should all recognize, I think Redick is real as far as a possibility. I think Danny...
Just turn your headphones down a little. There you go.
Dan Hurley is real when it comes to a possibility. I don't think any of this stuff is leaked as smoke screens or whatever. It's just... these things are complicated and they're fluid.
And as Mychal pointed out earlier, money is going to get involved here.
Oh, yeah.
And it may be the determining factor. Not just the amount you would pay him annually, but the amount of commitment you would make, the years of the deal. And Danny Hurley is going to have other options. The biggest one, to stay at UConn and continue to collect checks.
I think he has a $32 million extension.
Right. Yeah, for 6 years.
6 years.
Right.
Yeah, it was a 6-year deal, and I think it was signed last year.
Pocket
as
change.
I recall. Yeah. well, Mychal, what do you think that the Lakers are prepared to give a coach the kind of money that it would take to get him to leave a 2-time national champion and to go into the NBA and to make that sort of commitment? And let's just play it out here. Let's say it's a 7-year, $75 million contract. You think the Lakers are ready to do that?
It's not enough if it's 7 years. If you're talking about 7 years, it's got to be close to 100.
Okay.
Because guys are now signing for 15 a year. Monty Williams got 12. Mike Brown just got a $10 million a year extension for 3 years. So to lure Danny away from UConn, where he could be there for another 20, 25 years if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm sure they'll probably bump his salary up to twice as much, maybe close to $10 million, and $10 million or close to that. In Connecticut is like making 15 in California with state taxes and all that stuff,
For
cost
5
of
years.
living. So to entice him to leave UConn, where he's comfortable and where he could be basically win more titles the way he coaches, he's got to be thinking 5 for 75, somewhere on there.
Andy, how do you think this will be received in the Locked on Lakers community, or if you had a chance to take their temperature yet?
We actually did an emergency podcast this morning.
I would imagine it's a popular move.
So far, it actually has been seen as pretty popular, in part because, I'm sure you guys have experienced this, fans love whenever the talking heads appear to be wrong,
right,
and appear to have to roll back all their statements. So.
Yeah, I got to say, guys, that what you just brought up is the biggest surprise to me, that this somehow didn't leak.
Okay, I'll get to that in a second. But as far as the reaction, so far the fans that we've seen over at Locked on Lakers or the people hitting us up on Twitter at Cam Brothers seem very into it. Because you look at the success Hurley's had. He's coached back-to-back championships. He comes from a basketball family. Ironically, he was just on, I don't know if it on some podcasts Redick does because he does like 10 of them.
Yeah.
But he was just on a podcast with
19 of
JJ
them.
Redick breaking down his offense.
We played it.
Right. So
Yeah.
he sounded like a genius there. People are seeing it. And also, too, like, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to JJ Redick because I understand exactly
And he
why.
very well could end up being the coach.
Exactly.
That's
And
right.
he's
That's exactly
clearly
right.
a really bright, articulate, creative guy with charisma. And I understand why the Lakers could see potential in him, but it's all potential. With Hurley, you know exactly what it is that would draw you to him in the first place. And I think that is something that has Laker fans really excited.
That is very impressive. What you just said about him being a coach and winning 2 championships.
I said that already. Don't you listen? I said that at the start of the show. How you gonna suck up to him? Jeez.
Michael, please. I mean, keep on doing whatever you're doing.
Look at that stink eye he just gave you.
The thing that really impressed me is what we hear about him checking on the football and adapting that.
Yeah, since we have people getting in and out of their cars all the time, I'll play it again. Here's what Andy was talking about. JJ Redick and I don't call him Bobby Hurley, and Danny Hurley.
Just don't call him Elizabeth.
What's wrong with her? That's like the best looking woman in her 50s anywhere.
Now that would be a reach.
This
As a
is
hire.
this is why the
Michael
Lakers
might happen. By the way,
asked that question if they were related.
You never know.
Here's Danny Hurley and JJ Redick talking offensive strategy.
There's a play you guys have where you run a skip pass to the big, and then you get into a series of high splits. Sometimes it's a ghost screen for a dunk, or you get to a 3-pointer either on a DHO or a catch and shoot. Where did did you steal that play from?
So I think the inspiration the last 2 years, especially this year, is like watching college football now, or Shanahan from the NFL, how they'll have like these formations, obviously the pace and the tempo of their cuts and their actions, but like how they'll have like trips out of shotgun, with 2 in the backfield, and out of that formation, there's like 7 or 8 different things they do out of it, right? There's like a sweep, a play action, a deep post, right? All these different things. So, me and Luke Murray, we got together and we're like, we want to have like, 10 different formations, all right? Whether it's, a floppy, a regular horns with the 4 and 5 high, an inverted horns, a low 1-4. We want to have like 8 to 10 different, different formations that we would have, all these different wrinkles for, right?
Cappy, when he says DHO, Pepe, when he says that, do you know what he means?
No, but what I
No,
was no,
you're
wait,
basketball.
What I was going to tell you, Michael, before you start attacking me, because you went back to the 60s and the 70s
when
and
we
the
ran
80s
plays.
and what they're doing. Do you listen to what he said about the shotgun and the 2 players
Right.
in the back
And football,
and all that?
right.
They don't do that anymore.
I know what it is.
Of course, you know. But, Cappy, you know what a DHO is?
Does it stand for double high out?
Pretty good guess, Pepe.
Not bad, right?
Dribble, handoff. How do you
Okay.
not know that, Pepe?
Come on, Pepe, do better, man. Everybody knows that.
Okay, that's right.
Focus.
Yeah.
Focus,
you know
Pepe.
What? You know
Focus.
what? You know what? Yeah, just hitting the Mexican. That's
what it is.
That's
Right.
what it is.
Exactly right.
Go to the race
That's
car.
right.
See, okay,
Exactly
yeah.
right.
La-di-da. So now you are on the side of stupid Michael, okay? So I'm going to lose respect for
Your
you.
new nickname
as
is
much
gonna be
as I
Stupid
lose
Michael.
I will not
respect-
have that. I will
as
not have
much-
that.
As much as I don't have any respect for this doodoo bird that I have to my left, okay? So now, what I'm trying to tell you, Mike, is because you go back to when you play, when you were a kid, when you were
We're
a kid
surrender
in
picket
Bahamas,
fence.
in the Bahamas, we played with coconuts. You know?
But Pepe, it's true. We ran plays back in the
By
day.
the way, Cap, when Danny Hurley was talking and he mentioned Luke Murray, do you know who that is?
No, who is that?
That's Bill Murray's son.
Oh, yes, you know what? That's right. It's one of his assistant coaches, right?
And I
Yeah.
think that if Dan got this job, Luke, one of 2 things would happen. Luke would get the UConn job because Danny just left, or he'd bring him here.
Yeah, I was thinking that Bobby Hurley would go take the UConn job.
Which means Bill Murray courtside, baby.
Yeah, right.
Which
or Bill Murray works in the front office.
Boy, the third chair just got funnier.
Yeah, we would definitely get him in there. We'd bring it back for him. That'd be awesome.
I think that's very, very interesting. I really like the analogy, if you want to say that, about football, because that's a fact. Really, I was telling you about this soccer coach in the 80s that my friend, he was coaching in the league in Mexico, and he came here and said, I want to see a football game, an American football game. And I said, why? Because I want to take some of the ideas that they do and adapt them to soccer, which is fine with me.
Yeah, I think it's smart. I think anytime you're studying other things and trying other options, and you know, you heard LeBron talk about how Eric Spoelstra used to go to see Chip Kelly's practices and figure them out.
Right.
I just think it's a smart thing to do. Andy, NBA Finals Game 1 tonight. What do you expect in this series?
I think Dallas actually has a good shot of winning.
You know that 80% of the public money in betting is on the Mavs?
I think it's because they pulled off such an impressive run getting to the finals. And look, Boston has been really good all year, so I don't take too much away from the fact that they had a pretty easy draw because they've been good this whole year. Like, you don't win 64 games by accident.
They're the safe pick.
Right.
Dallas is. Well, Michael told me a long time ago, and I was surprised when you said this, Mike, that, and I assume you still feel this way, that you think Kyrie Irving might be the best one-on-one player in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, I've been saying that since he was 5, 6, 7 years ago. He's the best one-on-one player ever, clearly the best ball handler ever, but he is the best
He's the
one-on-one
best
player.
finisher at his size I've ever
Since you
seen.
were 5 or 6 years.
No, 5 or 6 years ago.
I said he's the best one-on-one player I've ever seen.
But what's interesting about him, and Michael knows this, but I don't think most people do, Kyrie grew up in Australia. His father was a basketball player who played professionally there. So Kyrie was actually born
in Melbourne,
in Australia. And he used to have to play against bigger kids that were much taller than him. So he was like a 6-year-old playing against 10, 12, 14-year-olds. And so he developed all these crazy shots around the basket that he still has today. So you can play, Michael, you point this out when we do his games, you can play perfect defense on him, and he comes up with some crafty, crazy way to score.
Yeah, he finds a way to get around.
Steph has a little of that in him, but I think Kyrie is probably the best at it.
Kyrie's taking it to another level. Isaiah Thomas had it. Steph definitely has it, but Kyrie is at a different level.
You know what's actually pretty cool? I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but Kyrie's dad, Dredrick, Kyrie's first signature athlete at Anta. Like, he's bringing He's bringing in his dad and getting a shoe for his dad.
I'm jealous.
That's really cool.
Hey, when's Clay going to do that for you?
Clay's been with Anta from the start.
I mean, no disrespect to
Hey, if
Dredrick.
Cappy was in on this deal, he would have already had a pair of Cappy shoes. I guarantee you that.
But
And Lil Cappy would have a pair too.
So why you don't deserve it.
Exactly, Pepe.
All right, game 1 of the NBA Finals is around the corner. Andy and Cap are going to take it from here. We're expecting Sedano to check in from Boston. Thank you, Pepe. Thank you, Michael.
Right.
Go Mavs.
That's right.
Anybody but Boston.
That's right.
ESPN LA.
All right, before we hit this break, I want to remind everybody tonight, as John just said, game 1 of the NBA Finals. So I don't know what you got going on tonight, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get off the air at 5:30. I'm going to put myself on a couch in front of a TV, and that's when I'm going to crack my first icy cold Coors Light. Now, the one I'm holding in my hands, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, this one is not an icy cold Coors Light. This is a room temperature Coors Light because I use it as a prop. But when the Silver Bullet has those icy blue mountains, that's when it's icy cold time for clear, crisp, refreshing, crushable, icy cold Coors Light. And when drinking that Coors Light, always celebrate responsibly.